here we are with Calypso, and we're talking about, for you, Susan, what to do when you get home with your rope halter with your horse that's never seen a rope halter. So the first step is that you'll put on the rope halter with a double knots sitting on the nose, and the long tail comes over as the crown piece, and then here's just an image of how that rope is tied, so you can just compare it to this video. The second thing we want to do is I want you to reach up under the chin of your horse when you're at home and ask him to back to see if he has a backup off of pressure. Okay, a little bit more. There, so this horse does that now. So at home, if you have to use a lot of pressure, when he backs up, I want you to stop and then start again. And I want you to repeat the backup in consecutive times so that he has a chance to learn how to be a little softer. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you'd reach up and start soft, and then you'd pull harder. And then as soon as he moves a foot, let go, praise him and say, good boy, thank you, and then repeat it until that it takes as much pressure to move your horse as it did with this horse, Calypso. So once your horse has the backup in that halter, the next thing I want you to be able to do is add the, now here's a good example. If your horse looks away while you're in the patience game, you just shorten the rope and ask his nose back. Perfect. There, and then give him some slack again. Okay, so now we'll go to the next step of teaching the wiggle rope backup. So once we have a known cue, we know we'll back up off of pressure under the nose. We want to start with the wiggle side to side for a few seconds, and then if he doesn't back, I want you to reach up under and back him. So let's try that. Give a little wiggle. Okay, so this horse did know the backup. Okay, so try again, even a little softer, and then just reach up and back him. Good, now reach up and back him so you get a chance to practice that. Good, great. So at home, when you get home, you can start to develop two phases of the wiggle. A soft wiggle, so try a soft wiggle with him. And if he doesn't listen, then you can do a firmer wiggle. Good, now this horse responded, so you quit, which was his reward, and you can simply say good boy and thank you before you worry about rubbing him, and we definitely don't want to give a treat in this. So when you get home with your horse, first you start with one wiggle and then you reach up, and once he starts to get the idea, then you do a softer wiggle, a medium wiggle, and then a soft under the chin and a firm under the chin. So just to tie this into that SATI teaching model, SATI means suggestive pressure, asking pressure, telling pressure, and insisting pressure. So in this case, our suggestive pressure is going to be a soft wiggle, so you can try that. Our asking pressure is that medium wiggle, so show a medium wiggle. Now our telling pressure is under the chin soft, so he still hasn't backed, so you're going to try that. And now our insisting pressure is firmer under the chin, so you might even have to step to the side because he's going to back into the fence. There, okay? Now lead him forward a step or two so he's off the fence. Okay, and start again. So try the suggestive soft wiggle, then try the asking medium wiggle. Ah, reward. Good, and so our reward here is saying thank you, allowing the space between us, and just taking off the pressure. That is a reward for horses. That's how they reward each other. So for us, we feel better sometimes when we pet the horses, but that is for us. So we always want to say, right after they do what we want to say thank you, and just sending that generosity and taking off the pressure. So that's what I want you to work on. That's your homework when you get home, is teaching one of your horses a wiggle rope backup. Okay, so I do want to show you one more thing on video, and I'm going to let you do it for me. I'd like you to put a little more rope between you and him. Good, and don't back up too much. Now I want you to go softly side to side, and then I want you to go right to a really firm up and down. So soft side to side, now go up and down very firm. Okay, so that is an insistent phase of pressure with the wiggle rope if you need it. So, but you can see how moving side to side is really soft. I know, sorry, you are the example, Calypso. And then that would be the firmest. But you could see there would be a couple ways you could do that in between. So that could become a telling. You know, I might be doing that while I'm walking up to the horse and asking them to back with my hand if a horse was really being difficult. Do you have any questions on those techniques to teach your horse the wiggle rope backup?
A little bit on the up and down.
Okay, that up and down is really only needed as a super strong suggestion. So when we first start, I teach you to do one wiggle and then a couple of different pressures pushing him back with a halter. But once he gets the idea, then you can go soft wiggle, medium wiggle for the asking pressure. You could even do a firm wiggle and up and down for the telling, and then you could walk up and push him back as the insisting. So as he starts to get the idea, then you'd be putting in 3 phases of pressure with the wiggle rope and then following up with the known cue of reaching up under his chin and backing him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Tip his nose to you because you've lost his attention. Great. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, super. Well done. I think you'll do super with your homework at home, and you'll just bring questions back if you have them.